Coming up on Husky Mag, the men's hockey team was in their first round of the NCHC playoffs. Men's basketball team finished up their season, and the baseball team got their first taste of NSIC action.
While the men's swim and dive team finished off their season, and tennis is in full swing.
Husky Mag starts right now. Welcome inside the studio for another edition of Husky Mag. I'm Joey Erickson. Alongside of me is Parker Kaiser. How you doing?
Just wonderful. There was a lot of hockey action and Husky action as well. But
oh yeah, we'll take you through Friday night. In round one of the NCHC playoffs, the Huskies are matched up with the number 8 seed Miami Redhawks. St. Cloud State hoping to secure their bid to the Frozen Face-Off at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. So we take a look through some of the highlights. You got Jack Paling to Ashawn. Ashawn shoots to the net, and Nick Paling deflects it in past goaltender Ryan Larkin. A big goal to start off for the Huskies on Friday night. Then on the power play, the dangerous St. Cloud power play in front to Brodzinski. Doesn't get all of it, but Robbie Jackson is there to clean up the garbage. You see Lazat, Brodzinski, right place, right time. Hit the folks for Robbie Jackson and call it a night. Beautiful goal there. And then a little less than halfway left in the second period, Alex Mahalik throws it towards the net. You'll get a good view of the overhead here. It appears to go wide, but Ben Lown barreling in, somehow hits the puck in the net, just appears out of nowhere. Then the Redhawks try to clear the zone. Nick Paling gloves it down right on the tape of his brother's stick, Ryan Paling, for the goal. But the Miami Redhawks would not go down. Early in the third period off a face-off, Rhymeshower with a big slap shot past David Rinnick. Then Jack Ashawn doing it himself, curls around the net, whips one towards the net, and scores the goal. And the Huskies end up taking this one 5-2 over the Redhawks. A big win on Friday night. David Rinnick with 24 saves and a really good overall game for the St. Cloud State Huskies on Friday night, Parker.
Right, it was a big swing for the Huskies as it looked like they had all the momentum going into Saturday's game, and as they would look up to wrap up this playoff series. But Miami's had other ideas, as Miami would get on the board first with Bachman striking first for the Redhawks after his fadoodle with the puck, knocking it down and past Rinnick. But Jimmy Schultz would give the Huskies back the tie with his happen. But still in the second, Miami would get back into the game after Jimmy Schultz tie-up and would score his second of the night. Miami would have their own weird goal of the night before. We had ours as Robbie Jackson would somehow stick one behind Larkin, which it looked like it hit his pad, which was inside the net. It was a whole kerfuffle in the control room at Herbrooks, and I'm guessing at HP as well.
Of course.
But the Redhawks would not back down as Hawkinson would score one in the third to tie back up the game 3-3 after this scrimmage in the front of the net. This was a back-and-forth battle, as I said, but the Huskies would get the last punch as Henches would net one behind Larkin to give the Huskies the lead. But Brodzinski wanted to also join the action as he would make it 2 on the night for him as he does his little celebration as the Huskies would add one more thanks to Lazat to win the game 6-3 with Rinnick getting 19 saves on the night. It seemed like the Redhawks weren't getting shots on net. They had the 5-minute penalty that they could have scored on, but they didn't have enough power, but the Huskies outpowered them on defense, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And it was it was a fun night to watch the Huskies.
Of course. Credit to Miami, though. They stuck in that game for a while. I mean, it was 3-3 at one point. They played really good, especially in the first period and halfway through the second. The St. Cloud State Huskies, they really like to go up the middle of the ice with speed, and the Redhawks did a really nice job of collapsing on that and keeping all the pressure to the outside, and it made real tough for the Huskies to get really clean zone entry. So then after the first period, Brett Larson made some adjustments, and they came out, they played more dump and chase, and that's when you saw the Huskies really get after the forecheck, and then their chances started rolling, and that's when you come up with a result like that. It was great to see.
Right.
So after the win Saturday, we were able to catch up with Coach Brett Larson and ask him how this weekend will help his team leading into the Frozen Face-Off and eventually the ever-important NCAA Tournament.
I think it just shows you that no matter who you play, it's going to be tough. And, you look around the league and 1 through 8, it doesn't matter. Every game is going to be a battle. So at this point, I think, we're just excited that we can get down there and play. It's a great experience for your young players. It's almost a learning experience for what they might see down the road. You kind of get under the bright lights in the big building it just feels like a big tournament. And it's really valuable experience for those guys for what they're going to see in the regional and hopefully beyond.
Now, with the win on Saturday, the Huskies will be going to St. Paul to compete in the Frozen Face-Off. The Cardinal and Black will be joining Denver after their sweep of North Dakota and Duluth after their sweep of Omaha over the weekend. The fourth and final team to join the face-off will be determined tonight as Western Michigan will face Colorado College in the deciding Game 3. The Huskies will be either versus Colorado or Denver depending on tonight's results. Time is yet to be determined what time they're playing on Friday. Now moving on from the NCHC to the NCAA, as the USCHO poll was released on Monday, and not much changed, as the Huskies remain number 1 in the country, receiving 49 out of the 50 votes. Massachusetts remain in third place, but getting one first place vote. 3 Minnesota teams are in the top 5. St. Cloud, as I said, was number 1, while Minnesota State is in second and Duluth remains in fourth. The biggest change is Denver moving up to 5 and Northeastern moving 3 places up to 6. Ohio State, Clarkson, and Cornell round out the top 10 in the poll.
Obviously, the USCHO poll is very important, but however, if the NCAA tournament started today, it would be based off the rankings in the pairwise poll. As we take a look here, St. Cloud still holds that top spot in both polls, so nothing bad there. But State of Minnesota contributing nicely with 3 teams inside the top 5. You see Minnesota State there at 3 and Minnesota Duluth behind them at 4. You got the NCHC Frozen Face-Off team at number 6, the Denver Pioneers. But there also could be some shakeup there as Ohio State lost to Penn State in the Big Ten tournament at number 7. And then also you have the early opponent in the season for the Huskies was the Northeastern Huskies at number 8 there. So no big surprises there, but it's going to be really exciting to see what regions all these teams are going to be placed in, and hopefully St. Cloud State can make a deep run this year.
Right, and from what I heard, the first 4 places, the 4 number 1 seeds, as I'm trying to say, will stay the same unless Duluth loses the 2 games at the Frozen Face-Off this week, and then Denver would probably jump to number 4 and be the number 1 seed in whatever region they'll go into.
Perfect. Well, after the break, the weather is warming up and spring is upon us. After the break, me and Parker will take you through the baseball team's first games of NSIC play.
Don't go anywhere.
As we hit the hardwood, after getting upset in the NSIC tournament, SCSU takes their chances at the Division II NCAA Championships, where they were seated at number 4 and taking on number 5, Southern Nazarene University in Maryville, Missouri. St. Cloud State wasn't able to recover after a very slow start in this one and fell 81-61. The start of the game in the first half did not go as planned as Sean Smith and Diamond Onwuka found themselves in foul trouble early and really hindered the Huskies inside the paint where they gave up 48 points. Noah Starkley led the way for the Crimson Storm, finishing with 31 points and 9 rebounds while shooting 13 of 18 from the field. Senior Gage Davis had 25 points but really struggled from behind the arc, going 2 for 7. Sean Smith collected 11 points and 7 rebounds. Jace Kitchen added 9 points as well, but wasn't enough to move on in this one past the first round.
Yeah, it was disappointing to see the result because this team had a lot of hype going into the tournament, but they couldn't get past the NSIC, and sadly they couldn't get past Southern Nazarene again for the first year after beating them last year. Now, with that disappointing loss on Saturday, the Husky season did come to the end, but not with about a bunch of accomplishments, as both Gage Davis and Sean Smith broke school records during the season. Gage has set the scoring record with 2,574 career points, while Smith broke the career blocks record with 200 and had 112 blocks on the season. The Huskies got the 2nd seed in the North for the NSIC playoffs and 4th in the regional NCAA tournament. The Cardinal and Black finished the season with a 22-9 record and was 16-6 in the NSIC North. They had 3 players who got honors this season, and the team will also be losing 6 seniors as they will all be graduating this year.
Well, as you pointed out, a lot of important seniors on this year's basketball roster. So we're going to just take a look at each of them and show you guys some of their important moments and highlights from their careers. We're going to start off with Brinley Tyson here. You get a look at some of his highlights. A really important, right here from St. Cloud, went to St. Cloud Cathedral in high school. Really important piece, great inside, a beautiful stroke from beyond the arc. You look here, he's got a career-high 29 points against Augustana, over 1,000 career points in his career at SCSU, fifth all-time in three-point, and he's even getting it done in the classroom, as you see there. He's a 2018-2019 academic All-American.
Right, and he also broke the season 3 record, which was amazing as well.
All right, then you were moving on to Adam Heed Anderson, of Copenhagen, Denmark. You got the international guys, really important. Career-high 21 points, academic All-NSIC winner, also tied for third most assists in a game. So he's not looking just to get his own, he's passing the ball off. And then you have the stud of Gage Davis, a fan favorite here.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. A great shooter, he's just an all-around great player. As you see him hugging his coach there. A great year for him and a really important reason why the Huskies even made it so far. And their career-high 47 points, all-time leading scorer in program history, NSIC history, and Minnesota collegiate basketball.
Right, and he should really be playing in the NBA with these numbers.
I know, you might get drafted, you never know, Parker.
Right?
Then we move on to Jace Kitchen. You're looking from DeKalb, Illinois, career-high 20 points against Bemidji State. He was a transfer from Rock Valley. It's a business major, a really good year for him as well, especially in the Southern Nazarene game, hoping to get past round one.
Right.
And then you have Ryan Wynn. He's the transfer from Ball State, communication studies major. Kind of what we do here, just a little different, but
Right. Just some studies, not communications.
And then you have the big guy in the middle, the paint, Sean Smith, just getting blocks out of anywhere and everywhere, and also slamming it on your head every once in a while.
Oh yeah, I'd be so afraid of him if I was on the court.
A human highlight reel here. As you look, he holds the record for most blocked shots in a career, season, and single game, and he even led the nation in blocks per game. That's pretty impressive from the Defensive Player of the Year in the NSIC.
Right, and he had a bunch of highlight reels that were out of this world and probably should have made it on SportsCenter, to be honest, but...
Got to push it out there more.
Right.
Yeah.
As we will move on to the number 6 seed baseball team in regionals and number 7th in the NCBWA poll, Huskies were not sure where they were going to play this weekend, but they finally found a home in Omaha, Nebraska.
Great place for baseball.
Right? As the Huskies would take on MSU Mankato Sunday night, as this would be the first game of the NSIC season. The Huskies were waiting to get their hands on the bat as they scored 5 runs in just the first inning, as Larson would get pulled after the first inning for the Mavericks. The Huskies would give Dominic Osting the ball for game 1 and allowed only 1 run in 6 innings, as that would be the only run the Mavs would get in the game. The Huskies would add 2 more runs in the game, 1 in the 4th and 1 in the 7th, as the Huskies would roll on to win the game 7-1. Mitch Malik would get 2 runs past the plate for the Huskies, as Ostings would get his 3rd win of the season.
Well, really nice game there for the Huskies, and they were looking to do more of the same. It was an early first pitch time this morning for Game 2, and SCSU wasn't quite fully awake for this one, though. Minnesota State got out of bed with revenge on their mind as Jordan Hart, Teddy Peterson, and Nick Altermat all hit 3-run bombs within the first 4 innings and gave the Mavericks a 9-0 lead. Sheldon Mix got chased early, going 3 2/3 and suffering 11 hits in his first loss of the season. All the offense the Huskies could muster was a 5 spot in the top of the 6th when Najee Gaskins hit a 2-run homer to left, Lenny Walker with an RBI double, and a 2-run single from Caden Harris pitch hitting. The Mavericks tacked on 1 more run late and took this one 10-5.
Now, the Huskies would try to look past that early loss they sustained minutes earlier, but would start the game off with Walker getting a run past the plate with the single in the first. But Mankato would strike back as they would score 2 in the 2nd inning, after a dancing single down the foul line. But the Huskies would not let that faze them, as they would tie the game up in the 4th, then take the lead in the 5th, and would not stop there as they scored 3 in the 7th inning and 2 in the 9th. Blake Flint would take the mound for the Huskies and get the win as he went 7 innings deep into the game. Walker and Jordan Joseph would bat in a combined 6 runs during the game, and the Huskies would go on to win this one 8-2.
Well, a big series win for the Huskies there. It's really important, especially in the first NSIC series. You got to come out with a couple victories, and that's what they did, and that's going to definitely help them down the road. So the Huskies have done a lot of surprising early this year, from being not ranked to now jumping up 5 spots into the 7th slot in the latest NCBWA poll. After a big week in Arizona, winning 7 out of their 8 games, and now winning their first series of NSIC play, improving to 14-3 on the season. There's a lot of good to watch out for this year on the diamond for the Huskies.
Right, I'm excited for, hopefully they'll be coming back to St. Cloud and playing games at Joe Faber Field.
I know, it's got to warm up a little bit. It's starting to, and I think we're almost there, so it's going to be really fun to watch.
Right, as the Huskies are looking to keep their success going, as they will travel to Winona, Minnesota on Wednesday to face off Winona State University. The game is scheduled for a doubleheader NSIC game. The time is yet to be determined, and hopefully they won't have to move the location due to weather this time.
Yeah, very important, the weather here, especially to play baseball, because you don't get not many places around here where you can get a dome, so it's really important. But coming up, we'll highlight the men's and women's swim and dive team season, along with a couple of their senior standouts.
And then tennis will start to wrap up their season as well.
Welcome back to Husky Mag, and we're going to get into the men's and women's swim teams here, as just like the basketball team, they went to the NCAA championships over the weekend, and we take a look here at some of the finishing and the places for some of these individuals. You got Scott Stellick, finished in 12th place in the 1-meter dive and 11th in the 30 meters. You got Chelsea Garricky, 7th in the 50 freestyle, and also broke a school record of 50.48 seconds in the 100-meter freestyle. So big congrats to her, and also the team finished in 20th place.
Yes, and the men's team also finished in 26th. That was the women's team that finished in 20th. So now with the conclusion of the NCAA swim and dive meet this weekend, that means that the swim season is over. And we'll start with the men's team, as they finished 4th in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletics Conference Championship in February. They had 4 All-American honors at the NCAA meet, and they finished with a 1-7 record in meets, and then they finished 26th place at the NCAA tournament. Now for the women's team, they won the NSIC championship earlier last month, and then they finished 20th at the championship for the NCAA and had a 5-6 meeting record this year, and then had a bunch of All-Americans. Brendan Thompson was a huge part of that, to being a diver within the past few years that I've been here.
So not a bad job by the swim and dive teams this year, and especially got a bunch of help from those seniors. The seniors are really important for leadership, so we wanted to recognize a couple of them here. As you get to the men's swim and dive seniors, you got Matt Anderson in the breaststroke, Anthony Schwartz in the breaststroke as well in their respective disciplines. Scott Stellick, as we saw in the diving, where he placed, willing to win in the freestyle, and you also have Nathan Duncan in the 1-meter dive as well.
Now, we're not only looking at the men's swim team, we got to look at the women's swim team, as Abby Bergman from Wisconsin does the butterfly will be graduating this year.
As well as you have Annie Hart in the backstroke from Jamestown, North Dakota.
And then Jessica Kramer from Appleton, Wisconsin, who does the backstroke.
Maddie Strong from Woodbury, Minnesota.
And then, as I said, Britton Thompson, who was a huge part of this program from New Prague, Minnesota, will be also graduating this year, which is a bittersweet moment, but I'm sure the swim team did a whole thing for the seniors, and they send them off with a bang with that NCAA
It can
meet.
never go unnoticed how much seniors have an impact on a team, especially here in St. Cloud State, where so many individuals stay for their 4 years and they don't go on. It's really good to see.
Right. And now we'll move. Now that the swimming season is over, the tennis season is going strong, and they're almost done with their season. On Friday, the Huskies played the College of St. Benedict, as both teams paid their respect to late coach Jerry Anderson, who suddenly passed in the offseason before the game started. But the match did not go the way the Huskies wanted, as Kudrowski and Quinton Dos Santos would win the only doubles match of the day. And they would also win their single matches, as Dos Santos won her match in 3 after losing the first set 2-6. Kudrowski won her match in straight sets 6-2 and 6-2. Fitzpatrick would put up a fight, winning the first set 6-4, but will lose the last 2, as the Huskies would lose this match 5-2.
So tough matchup. So there's a little shake there in the NSIC standings for them, as we're going to take a look. at how the tennis team is doing this year. You got Augustana on top at number 1. They're 13-1, 9-0 in conference, so that's obviously going to put you on top. You got Duluth right down the road. They're 8-2 this year, and St. Cloud is at 10 out of 12 teams at 5-9 and 2-6 in conference play. See Minnesota State as well is at number 8 and 5-9. So not too bad. So there's a lot more to work on, obviously, and what you said with the passing of their coach. I'm sure they have a heavy toll on them. So hopefully they can get past that and dedicate the season to him and work on that from there.
Yeah, I know the tennis team was very struck by the loss of their coach and was trying to figure out what they were going to do for the season, whether they would take it off or compete for the coach, and they're deciding to compete for the coach, and hopefully they're making him proud with the way they're fighting for the tennis team right now. As we look past that, the tennis team will look to upset MSU Moorhead as they will travel to Stay Fit Gym in Sartell to face the Dragons. This game will take place on Friday, March 29th, with the first match set to take place at 5 p.m. Then they will face off against UMary Sunday in the same gym, with the first match set early in the morning at 8 a.m. I don't envy them.
I don't think I would want to get up either for that. But don't go yet, because I'll let you know who our leader of the pack is this week.
And we'll also tell you who is the Blizzard's best.
Husky Mag will be right back.
Make sure to follow us at UTVS_Husky Mag for all the latest news and in-game updates with all your Husky sports, as we will keep you updated with the Frozen Face-Off next week.
Well, obviously very important to follow that so you can stay up to date. But right now, I'm going to do today's leader of the pack, and it is Easton Brodzinski of the St. Cloud State men's hockey team. He had a huge weekend in the first round of the NCHC playoffs against Miami, tallying 5 points during those 2 games, consisting of 2 helpers and 3 goals. 2 of those which came on Saturday, helping clinch their ticket to the Frozen Faceoff. Also plays a huge role in the power play. Someone that stands in the slot on the power play, big body, does a lot of the dirty work, and with his great shot, he's not going to miss too many good opportunities.
Right, and he does all the grit work and helps out the team as much as he can,
Of course.
Bunches the whole Huskies team.
And from what I've heard, he might be showing up in today's Blizzard of the Best.
Oh, he might, but we'll figure that out, as we will start with that, as David will go into Blizzard's Best, as David Rennick made the huge save on Friday to keep the game tied 0-0 in the first period, and that really helped the Huskies kind of stay in the game while they were on their heels fighting the Hawks. As we will move on to number 2, as Henches would sauce the puck to Brodzinski for the 5th goal of the game on Saturday, which helped seal the deal for the Huskies and helped them move on to the Frozen Faceoff.
He was dipsing and dangling through everybody, through 3 Miami Redhawk defenders, and put it right on Brodzinski's stick.
I'm sure all 3 of them have broken ankles right now. As number 1 is Henches with his game-winning goal from Brodzinski on Saturday, which that would be the 4th goal of the game, which really helped seal the deal, as I said, for the Huskies.
Yeah,
to move on.
Brodzinski and Hinchas just returning the favors to each other to really wrap up that series and get them to head on to the Frozen Faceoff.
Yeah, that was really a huge team effort there on Friday and Saturday with how tough the 8th seed of Miami was. So as Brett Larson said, it proves that any team in this conference is viable to move on because we're all so close, even though our records are 50 points difference.
Yeah, it is truly the best conference in college hockey.
Right. So any plans for the weekend? Going down to St. Paul to watch them play?
I will be going down to St. Paul. I'm really excited. Just got my tickets. My dad's coming up from Texas, so we're going to go together and we're going to watch Husky hockey. I think I'm going to go to all the games, of course.
Oh, of course.
It's great hockey all around.
Right.
So I'm really excited, and we still got to wait for the matchup of Western
CC.
Michigan and CC, so we'll see how that goes. But a really exciting weekend. What are your plans?
I'm also going down to the Frozen Face-Off. Last year I couldn't make it because of work. This year I made sure to take the weekend off.
Yeah, always working here.
I could see the Huskies play for once this season and see how the magic is actually from on the stands and not in a control room.
All right, well, very exciting. So that's going to wrap up another episode of Husky Mag, and we hope you join us next week.
Stay classy, Husky fans.